So here we have it, the grid is being rolled off. Leonardo Zanni starts from pole, Borg and Cano alongside. Pugliese, championship leader in P4, Ramadhipa and Singapore looking to go further up the order at P5 and P6, this time in race 2. Yaroslav Karpushin, podium finisher in race 1, goes from P7, alongside Bahosa and Tinez as Evan Belfort runs out the top 10. Long goes from P11, DaCosta P12. Moniani, Ogiwara and Chris Daniel Jr. runs out the top 15. Gabarini, Ballon, behind, rendered out the top 18. David Gonzalez goes from P19, a lot of work to do, but he managed to do it in race 1. Salvo Mansi runs out the top 20, Remy San Juan behind. Further back down the order, we see not runs out the top 30. Abruzzo as well, he had a long lap penalty to serve in race 1. He's not going to have to do that this time around. Eduardo Bertola as well, he goes to render out order. So, now, warm-up lap time, temperatures are scorching in this one. Jack, do you think it's going to be a case of Leonardo Zanni pushing 150% out there in circuit, trying to stretch out the lead early like we already seen in race 1? Or is it going to have to use its head and break both the points?
I think it will be a bit of both. I don't think you can go and push 150% in these conditions and expect to stay on the line, because it will be so greasy. Like, as we said, the grip here is great when it's colder, not when it's 60 degrees track temperature. That will cause issues, but he will be using his head. He will have the crash in mind. He'll want to put that out of his head as soon as possible, and what better way than to get a podium and get a victory in this race.
Still a very, very small wind gusting around this circuit, about 2 miles per hour or so, so not enough to cool you down, and not enough as well to affect you when you're on these bikes. Let's not forget these motor-free machines, not the heaviest bikes in the world, so when it does get windy, you can't feel the board bike. Certainly with the slipstream, it can play a little bit more of a role, but here today, that shouldn't be much of a worry.
Shouldn't be much of an issue at the moment. It can be a bit gusty, not strong gusts, but gustier than 2 miles an hour. So maybe occasionally you feel it when the riders are on track, but it's not going to be a huge effect.
Championship standings on the right-hand side of your screen. Pugliese leads the way from Cano and Ramadhipa, 7 and 9 points being those gaps. So the top 3 locked together on circuit and field head through turn 10, near towards start of racing. Start of race 2 here at Circuito de Jerez at El Nieto, one of the most historic venues in motorcycle racing, and well, rightfully so. The home of last lap battles. And well, Jack, I would expect a few moves to be made at turn 13 this very corner.
Turn 13 will be crucial, particularly on the last lap, to just make the move or disrupt your opponent, maybe be able to get a better run out of the final corner, because it isn't the longest straight, but it's a fairly long run to the checkered flag, where obviously races are decided.
Last year, of course, was Leonardo Zanni's first full season in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. This year being the second full campaign. And well, he started it in style for sure. 57 rolls into the P1 spot on the grid. Red flag waits them at the front. And then the green flag will wave at the back. Red lights will go on. 10 laps of action will unfold. Start marshal does remove himself from the front of the grid. Keenan nearly ready to get going. Race 2 here at Jerez is ready for race, and we are going to good start from Zanni so far, and Travis Borg, who looks to be taking the lead on the run to turn 1. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? Borg launches a move up the inside, but he's too far back, and Zanni swoops around the outside. So the Italian claims a race lead towards turn 2. Everyone through nice and clean so far. Cano remains in P3, and already Yaroslav Karpushin slots into P4. It's a Seat Lotto Aspar
on Borg. You just see that from Karpushin signalling to the riders behind that he's got the pace to catch Zanni and Borg. Let's work together. It doesn't often work as Borg up the inside at turn 11 to take the lead from the number 57. Will Zanni respond under braking at turn 13? No. So it's Borg who leads as Plank looks to make a move on Kiandra Ramadhipa at turn 13 for P4.
With how much drama there has been, you would imagine this would suit the likes of Travis Borg, who's had well, it was a tricky race one for him. We get mixed up in the pack. Now there's less riders we'd imagine to get involved with. But, well, we have to go all the way down to P10 for the fastest rider on circuit. David Gonzalez, again, no surprise there. I mean, he's having to fight his way through the order and still continue to push, but he cannot afford to do what he did in race 1.
No, if he can keep this pace up and fight his way through the field, that's exactly what the number 11 will want, without the mistake of race 1, of course, where he undid all of his hard work. A look at the live championship standings, as Borg, as it stands, would take the lead from Ramadhipa, 7 points between those two, with Pugliese dropping to P3. Of course, we still have 8 laps to go, and that is subject to change, as Zanni looks to have a run on Borg, but isn't close enough to make the move, as Plank goes up the inside of Karpushin for P3.
Kiandra Ramadhipa, second place in the championship. Who would have thought that going into 2026? Travis Borg at the head of it too. Now also at the head of the race. The 23 water ride has been Karpushin trying to make a move on the two Moment Racing riders, who of course now sit second and third in picture. Ponk looking up the inside of his teammate, and now Ramadhipa trying to get involved and work his way through the order. If Ramadhipa was able to finish behind Borg here, he could well and truly be within touching distance of the championship lead.
Yeah, Ramadhipa, if he can make a few places, will obviously close that gap to Borg as it stands, and you would imagine he will. The number 32 has incredible racecraft. We've seen it before in what was the European Talent Cup. We've seen it this season in his rookie season. And there's a move on Karpushin to move into P4. And as we were talking about making progress through the field, he proves our point.
Yeah, he proves our point so far, but still a while to go in this one. 7 laps remaining. And will Zanni trying to pile in the pressure for Travis Borg. David Gonzalez again setting the fastest lap of the race. A 1:46.353. Simply impressive stuff from the number 11 yet again. Now, here's Ramadhipa with Yaroslav Karpushin in between them, and will sing a pong just behind as well. 2 riders that we know, 3 riders actually, that we know are very, very quick, but they need to get a move on. They cannot afford to continue the fight, because this top 3 have got a bike or 2 in between them, bike length or so in between them.
Yeah, Borg, Zanni and Plank looking to break away from Ramadhipa, but we know the number 32 can use the slipstream to catch up on this long run into turn 6. The question is whether Zanni is close enough to make a move on Borg. He is under braking, slides his way up the inside, as does Plank, follows his teammate through. Borg from P1 to P3 in just 1 corner.
Yeah, Borg being the real loser of turn 6 that time around, losing 2 positions, and there is Carlos Cano, the fastest lap of the race, a 1:46.186. Carlos Cano, he's trying to get some points back here, but with it being a shortened race due to the temperatures, it's less time to do it. There's Philip Soroviak as well, running out on order, just a few riders behind him too. So a lot of ground to make up for Carlos Cano if he wants any hope of scoring points here, because this front group is massive now, and well, we have what looks to be 11 riders or so in the front group. So towards turn 13, who's going to be making moves? The rider off in the background, so hopefully all is okay there as well. Looking up the inside, it's Karpushin on Travis Borg. Can he make it work? The side by side, all the way on the exit, onto the green, nearly onto the grass goes Travis Borg.
Travis Borg, the big loser there at turn 13. Zanni, Plank, Karpushin, Ramadhipa up to 4th, and Singapore into P5, all ahead of the rider from Malta. Just to note on Carlos Cano, in terms of points, he's around 2.2 seconds away from Sullivan Moundy in P15, and running around 1.5–2 seconds quicker than the riders ahead of him.
Evan Belfort dropping down the timing screens now and not crossing that final sector, so could potentially be the rider that crashed out, and that is confirmation of the 52 going down. Rider okay showing on the timing screens for the time being. But Zanni leading away from his teammates. Moment Racing 1-2 at the front of the race. Karpushin now trying to get himself involved in the battle, as is Ramadhipa. Who's going to break the latest over at turn 6? Ramadhipa on the inside, and well, he gets one, or does he, as he swoop round the outside and hold position. Karpushin does get up to second in the meantime, just behind Zanni.
Yeah, Karpushin on the move, as you say, up into second place, but Zanni still leading the way as it stands, but 6 laps to go. Everything will change in this race for sure. Plank up the inside of Karpushin at turn 9. Is he going to be able to make that work? It looks like no, he's not. Karpushin with some great defense on the outside.
Great defensive skills so far. A couple looked behind as well for a few of the riders. Just checking who's there, how many riders are there. Well, the answer to that is half of the field. David Gonzalez, keep your eye on him because the number 11 already involved in this lead scrap. The 24 looks up the inside on Karpushin. Karpushin got through over at turn 6, and now the Momovan rider has returned the favour. Zani continues to lead from his teammate, and you would imagine Yaroslav Karpushin is going to be launching the move, launching that CF moto up the inside over at turn 1, but not quite this time around, as he is a little bit too far back. But as we were saying, keep your eye on David Gonzalez as well. There's the 17, finally making the move.
Gonzalez, as you say, up to P6 as Karpushin comes through on plank to move into P2, and we see the number 8 of Bertola retiring from the race. A shame for the Italian rider.
Yeah, started from the back of the grid, now retiring into pit lane. Travis Borg trying to sneak a front wheel into the podium places there, and able to make it work so far for himself. But 5 laps remaining, we're around half race distance, and already we've had so much drama. What does the final half have in store? We're 4-5 wide on the run to turn 6. Incredible stuff as Ramadhipa slots himself into the podium places. Where did the 32 come from? Impressive stuff. Now ahead of the Momovan rider, as then Singapore sits behind.
A brave move from Ramadhipa there to move up the inside. It's Karpushin who leads the way ahead of Zani at the moment, but Plank is in second. Doesn't make the move at turn 9 with Ramadhipa in P3, and that is, I can't quite work out who that is, but it's a retirement down at turn 6 there, and it's Varga. Looks like he's dropping down the timing screens.
Big shame there for Varga, and actually all there is also dropping down timing screens, so it could be 2 of them down there at turn 6, but we will continue on. Out on circuit, it's getting dicey down here at turns 13. Somehow no contact there between anyone, and nobody running on the green so far. Zani all the way down to P8 in the last lap. Your race leader a few laps ago, he's struggling so far. He's been really swallowed up by the pack, and now your top 5 for the time being. Karpushin from Ramadhipa in 3rd, Gonzalez in P4, and Travis Borg in 5th.
Yeah, Borg, or Zani rather, the big loser in that group. Just to note on Carlos Cano, he's already into the points paying positions, up to P14 now, 6 seconds behind behind the leader. You would think it's a tough ask for him to catch up, but he is running around 8/10 a second quicker, but with only 4 laps to go, it's unlikely he'll be in this lead group.
Sullivan Benson San Juan just ahead of him out on circuit, so what can he do this time around? And then it's going to be number 70 of Christian Daniel Jr., but back at the head of this race, Karpushin slots into P1 still. Gonzalez does run it wide, he was in 2nd, but that's going to allow Borg through, that's going to allow Singapore through, and nearly Ramadhipa through as well. One mistake, 2 positions lost, showing how close this battle is.
Mistakes are costly in this class, especially in this battle when you've got the top 10 separated by less than a second, with Da Costa at the back of this field. The perfect viewing point really for Da Costa to enjoy what's going on in front of him. Of course, he'll want to get involved as well. Cano up to P12. Karpushin now leads from Singapore, while Borg is in P3. David Gonzalez running in P4.
Yeah, running in P4 for the time being, but the number 11, I don't think his podium hunt is done just yet. Is Singapore about to take the race lead? Yes, he is. The 85 hits the front, or is it going to be David Gonzalez? They're side by side at turns 13. Who's going to get the better drive? It is going to be Singapore who leads the way from David Gonzalez. Borg remains in 2nd, or does he? As Yaroslav Karpushin looks up the inside towards turn 1. They're 3 wide yet again. How close do you like it? Karpushin does claim P3.
Yeah, Karpushin on the move back into the podium places. Gonzalez in 2nd. Borg on the move. A late lunge on Karpushin from Borg to move back into the podium places. A stunning move from the number 23.
Monoyane there suffering issues at the final corner. A massive shame for him. Hopefully he can get that bike out of the gravel trap. He was running on the customs of the points, and that was confirmation. The time she's now off the crash. 45 gone down turn 13. Rider okay. Onto the back straight though we do go yet again. Singapore is somewhat building the margin area. He's heading over to the right hand side of the circuit to try and bridge a gap. Here's Carlos Cano, P11 for him. Is a P10 on the cards? Is it too far back? Let's wait and find out. I mean, he's came all the way from P28.
It's been an incredible recovery ride from Cano. He's 3.7 seconds behind Tinez in P10, running around 6/10 a lap quicker on the best laps anyway. it's unlikely you would think that he can get into the top 10, but you never know.
Pugliese as well into this race as the championship leader. He was P21, now what looks to be P20 out on circuit, but still not the positions he would want to be in. Now launches yet another move on the monoplow rider, so that's Nicholas dropping yet another position. Next up for him is Philip Sorobiak to make up a move inside the top 19 places. Already job done on himself, past Philip Sorobiak now. So Pugliese, his job is not done yet either.
No, Pugliese is around 5 seconds from the point, or 4 seconds. That's going to be very difficult to make up with just 2 or 3 laps to go, sorry. Just to note, Travis Borg in P5 has been given a track limits warning, so something to keep an eye out on.
It looked like as well, just going for turns 1 there, David Gonzalez has just moved into the race lead. Now here is Pugliese, as we were mentioning a few moments ago. He's continuing his running towards the point. Obviously a massive race in the championship, a big championship swing as well. There is the likes of Leonardo Zani, who's sitting P8, and well, there's confirmation of David Gonzalez in the race lead. But for how long? Because Singapore, Ramadhipa and Karpushin all wanted to move him back some places.
Everyone looking to challenge Gonzalez. It's a lead group of 6 or so now. The Mamovan guys look like they were losing out, as Singapore up the inside at turn 6 takes the lead of the race once again.
Hats off there, only 1 position gained. Only 1 position lost actually from the number 11 after all of that scrapping. Ogiwara as well is also involved in this fight too, as well. Karpushin looks up the inside of Ramadhipa, nearly contact between the 2 of them. Luckily both of them stay on 2 wheels, very awareness heavy from them. Towards turn 9 though, and then we build up towards turn 10. And I think we're getting to the start of the race where things are going to get very dicey, especially towards turns 13 in a few moments.
We are with 2 laps to go, or a lap and a few corners to go. It's now or never. Kano, as you can see, is closing in on this lead group. He's still around 2.6 seconds behind. It's going to be a lot to make up on that last lap. You would think P11 will probably be the best Kano can do as we head into turn 13, and it's still Singapore who leads from Gonzalez.
Still at the moment, it's Singapore who leads the way. How is turn 1 going to change things? This is the final lap of action, the final lap of race 2 and the Moto3 Junior World Champions weekend here at Terakhir. They were moving, guys, have to get a move on in a few corners time if they want any hope of scoring a podium place. Gonzalez, though, meanwhile, hits the front.
Gonzalez has hit the front ahead of Singapore. It looks like him and Singapore and Karpushin are just trying to build out a bit of a gap over Ramadhipa, but we know that's going to come down between turns 5 and 6 on the long run into the Danny Pedrosa corner.
A tense pit box for the Aspar guys and girls down there in pit lane. Now we head on to the back straight for the final time of asking who's going to come out on top after turn 6. Moves will be made here, that is a guarantee. Gonzalez enters it as the leader. Singapore looks up the inside, Karpushin on the outside, and the Mamovan rider Plank has gone down and taken out Ramadhipa with him.
That's, very costly, obviously, for Ramadhipa and Plank. Ramadhipa gets the bike restarted, looks to rejoin the race. Whether he'll be able to score points or not, remains to be seen. But it looked like Plank was out of the race. There's Karpushin on the inside of the number 97 for P2. That's brave. He's wide. And it's Gonzalez who now leads from Karpushin.
Ogiwara, it looked like he was nearly about to do some motocross, and he did well to stay on board that one. Now it's Gonzalez who leads the way. 2 corners remain after this one. Turns 12 and turns 13. Jorge Lorenzo corner. Who's going to come out on top? David Gonzalez enters as the leader. He goes defensive on the entry. Travis Borg looking for it. He runs wide. And now it's Karpushin into the race lead. Now he's going to use the slipstream all the way on the run to the line. Number 17 looks to be taking victory from David Gonzalez. 3rd place does go the way of Travis Borg. The Aspar team absolutely delighted.
A great result for Karpushin after an incredible race, but mixed emotions obviously for CF Moto Aspar given what happened to Kano and Pugliese, but a first win for Karpushin.
This weekend of racing, this is how things look. A 3-way tie at the head of the title race. Pugliese, Kano and Borg. The 2 CF Moto riders, P1 and 2, Borg P3, they're completely tied together. What more can you ask for? Ramadhipa moves down to P4. And well, no surprise that Karpusha now inside the top 5 in the standings. Gonzalez as well fighting himself up the order, but with a freeway tie at the top of the championship.